As many of you may know, I am a fan of compact keyboards. My daily driver for a long time is a 10 keyless wireless mechanical keyboard by Drevo. However, Drevo is out to prove that their new Durendal keyboard, a full-size device, is worthy of your valuable desk real estate. The Drevo Durendal, or at least that's how I'm going to pronounce it, is a 104-key RGB mechanical full-size beast that retails for about $60. And if you're curious where to find this device for yourself, if by the conclusion of this review you decide you want to purchase one, then please consider using my affiliate link to do so. The Durendal leaves a large and imposing footprint. It's definitely the biggest board I've personally tested, second only to the G.Skill KM780. It's got this stealthy black design, but currently isn't offered in any other color variations. It also has this nice anodized aluminum texture, and at the top there's a bit of a lip that, if it serves no practical purpose, does give the board a bit of needed character. And the logo branding is also very minimal, and as a matter of fact, the only logo you'll find on the device is a sticker on the back, and on the front there's just a small logo on the spacebar. The feature list is obviously populated with your standard gaming features, such as N-key rollover, anti-ghosting, and a Windows lock function, but let's skip to the features that you actually care about. First of all, it uses Altemu red switches, which are linear and smooth. They're similar to Cherry MX red switches, and if those don't actually fit the feel that you're going for, it's offered in a blue, brown, and black variant as well. RGB lighting is available, and you can cycle through the 13 effects both on the keyboard or on the software, and if you want to modify the brightness or speed of the effects, if it's available, you can do so through the software or the keyboard, but if you want to modify the per key lighting customizations, you will have to download that Power Console software and do it through there. Probably the most noteworthy stylistic feature of the device is this non-removable wrist rest. So the entire backplate is actually one solid piece, both the wrist rest and the backplate. That's just one solid piece with a bit of plastic on top of the wrist rest to give you a little bit of needed cushion. While this feels extremely rigid and is not going to break anytime soon, it definitely means this is a less portable keyboard. You can't just snap off the wrist rest and throw it in your backpack and be ready to go. It's a full-size keyboard. It's got all the function keys. It's got a number pad. It's got a wrist rest. It's a big board. It's unapologetic, so just know what you're getting into. If you need a portable board, this is probably not for you. Flipping the device over, you will see that there are cable routing options. You can modify where the cable comes out of the keyboard, depending on how your setup is situated on your desk. And while we're back here, you'll see there are many rubberized sections that make the keyboard feel very planted. It does not slide around easily, and there are feet that kick up from the bottom to elevate the back of the keyboard, and you'll see there are pads on the wrist rest that become the new points of contact when the keyboard is elevated. Let's now talk about the Power Console software as it relates to the Durendal keyboard. Now, as you should all know by now, I have a very strong opinion when it comes to budget keyboards and the software that comes with them. To sum it up, I prefer to use the keyboard itself to modify whatever settings I need to. And as I alluded to earlier, this keyboard is compatible with the Drevo Power Console software, and through there you can modify the profiles, the macros, and the lighting effects. Subjectively, the device feels very planted. It's solid, very minimal flex observed. The only kind of cheap looking or feeling part of the device is the cable. It's not braided and it seems excessively thick, like there should be a USB pass-through, but there isn't. It's just the cable cord. So considering that, it's a very thick cable. They do, however, include a nice branded Velcro strap to keep that cable tidy when it's not in use. Typing on the device feels great. It definitely feels the way a mechanical keyboard should. For the red switches, they are smooth and linear. I noticed that it feels a bit heavier than like a Cherry equivalent. So if you're coming from a Cherry or Cherry clone, these are going to feel a little bit heavier, but it's not too bad in my opinion. I also noticed it lacked consistency in the volume of the keys. Like some keys are quieter than others, but honestly, it's a red switch. For a mechanical keyboard, it's still relatively quiet. Now on to the lighting effects. Now I was definitely underwhelmed with the lighting capabilities of this device, especially coming from the Blademaster that was also by Drevo. This is a little bit lackluster, not as many options to choose from, and even at max brightness, the lighting is still relatively dim. And I also noticed this weird quirk where if you modify the lighting effect, it reverts back to medium brightness. And again, this is dim even at maximum brightness. So whenever you change lighting effect, like if you have it on breathe and you switch it to rainbow, it drops back down to medium brightness and you have to bring the brightness back up. And that happens both if you modify it on the keyboard or in the software. And speaking of the software, this is probably the least impressive part of the whole package. It offers less options than the Drevo Blademaster. It's not great, but honestly it gets the job done. It does have a few annoying quirks though. For example, sometimes it doesn't recognize the keyboard. I can open up the software and it won't see it. Not even unplugging it and plugging it back in will do it. I'll have to restart my entire computer, open the program again, and it sees the keyboard. However, using this for like 2 or 3 weeks now, that's only happened a couple of times, so not a huge deal. What is a little bit more annoying though, is that you have to turn off the lighting effects before you can adjust the key customizations. For example, if I wanted to make one of the F keys a permanent play, pause, media capability function, then I would need to turn off the lighting effects to the keyboard, make that modification, and turn the lighting effects back on. Kind of an annoying quirk, but really only affects you the first couple of times you go to modify the device. Although the market currently seems to prefer a less is more approach to PC peripherals, it's refreshing to see big boards receive some love as well. The competitive price point of the Drevo Durandal definitely undercuts a lot of the competition, but I still think they could have done more to fully utilize its bulky body. Volume control, dedicated multimedia buttons, and even a Genius knob could have all been implemented without increasing the overall size of the device. In my opinion, if I'm going to sacrifice desk space by using a device this size, I want it to do everything. Now, despite that, I still think it represents a great value, and if you're in the market for a big board like this one, it's definitely worth considering. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you found this video helpful and or insightful, then consider giving it a like, and consider subscribing so you know when our newest content is ready to watch. If you did not like this board, then please consider watching these other videos, other keyboards that we've reviewed that you may like instead. But if you do want this one for yourself, then check out our affiliate link in the video description where you can buy one for yourself, and that definitely helps us out. In that video description, you will also find a link to our giveaways that we run basically every month. So thanks again, guys, for your support this year, and I'll catch you in the next one. And get that merch in there. All about that hustle.